Hello and welcome. It's a quiet truth that as we get older, we become more attuned to the subtle signals our bodies send us. A little less energy in the afternoon, a new stiffness in the morning, or perhaps a growing concern about keeping our hearts and minds healthy for the long run. In our search for answers, we often turn to nature's oldest remedies, and few are as famous as garlic. Yet, the advice we find online can feel like a tangled web of rules. Eat it on an empty stomach. Only eat it at night. Never cook it. Today, we are going to untangle that web with calm, clear science. The central question we'll address is whether eating garlic at a specific time of day, particularly at night, truly unlocks superior health benefits. We will explore what makes garlic such a powerhouse for circulation and immunity, how to prepare it to maximize its incredible properties, and most importantly, we'll separate the well-researched facts from the popular but unproven myths. My goal is for you to leave this video feeling not just informed, but confident and empowered in your daily health choices. This is about making wellness simpler, not more complicated. I'm Dr. Daniel Bennett, and my work is dedicated to providing clear, science-savvy health guidance that you can trust. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by all the conflicting information out there. Here, we take a different approach. We look at the science, explain it simply, and focus on practical steps that fit into your real life. If that sounds like what you've been looking for, I warmly invite you to subscribe and join our growing community. We're building a space for thoughtful conversations about aging well, and we'd be so glad to have you with us. Let's begin with the heart of the matter. The magic inside a simple clove of garlic. For centuries, people have known that garlic is good for them, but it's only in more recent times that we've understood why. The star of the show is a compound called allicin. Interestingly, allicin doesn't actually exist in a whole, intact garlic clove. It's created through a fascinating little chemical reaction. Inside the garlic cells, there are two separate components, a compound called alliin and an enzyme called alliinase. Think of them like two ingredients for a recipe stored in different containers. As long as the garlic clove is whole, they stay apart. But the moment you crush, chop, or mince that clove, you break down the cell walls, and those two components rush to meet each other. When alliin and alliinase combine, they create the powerful, pungent, and profoundly healthy compound we know as allicin. This is the substance responsible for many of garlic's most celebrated benefits, particularly for our cardiovascular system. Allicin and the other sulfur compounds it creates have been studied for their potential to support healthy blood pressure and cholesterol levels. They do this in a few ways. One important mechanism is by encouraging the production of a substance called nitric oxide in the lining of our blood vessels. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator, which is just a scientific way of saying it helps our blood vessels relax and widen. Imagine a garden hose that's a bit stiff and narrow. The water has to work harder to get through. Now, imagine that hose becomes more flexible and wider. The water flows with ease. That's similar to what nitric oxide does for our arteries. By helping them relax, it allows blood to flow more freely, which can reduce the pressure on the vessel walls. For anyone keeping an eye on their blood pressure numbers, aiming to stay below that 130/80 mark, this is a wonderfully supportive, natural mechanism. So, how do we make sure we're getting the most allicin from our garlic? This is where a simple kitchen tip becomes a powerful health strategy. The enzyme that creates allicin, alliinase, is sensitive to heat. If you chop garlic and immediately toss it into a hot pan, the heat can deactivate the enzyme before it has a chance to work its magic. You'll still get some benefits and great flavor, but you'll miss out on a significant amount of the allicin. The solution is remarkably simple, the 10-minute rule. After you crush, mince, or press your garlic, let it sit on your cutting board for about 10 minutes before you expose it to heat. This waiting period gives the enzyme enough time to convert a substantial amount of alliin into allicin. The allicin that's created is more heat stable than the enzyme itself, so more of it will survive the cooking process. It's a small change in your routine that can make a big difference in the potency of the garlic you eat. Whether you're making a spaghetti sauce, a stir fry, or a soup, just prepare your garlic first, set it aside, and then proceed with the rest of your recipe. This brings us to the central myth we're here to debunk, the idea that the time of day you eat garlic changes its effectiveness. You may have seen articles or videos claiming that consuming a clove of garlic right before bed or first thing in the morning on an empty stomach will supercharge its benefits for your heart, your immune system, or even for weight loss. It's an appealing idea because it sounds like a secret health hack, a simple trick to get more out of something you're already doing. However, when we look at the science of how our bodies absorb and use the compounds in garlic, this theory doesn't hold up. The idea that eating garlic right before bed maximizes its effects is a popular one, but it's not supported by strong scientific evidence. Your body's digestive and circulatory systems are working around the clock. They don't have an on-off switch that syncs with the sunrise or sunset. When you consume garlic, the allicin and other beneficial compounds are absorbed into your bloodstream and get to work, regardless of whether it's 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. The well-established benefits of garlic, its support for cardiovascular health, its immune-boosting properties, its anti-inflammatory effects, are cumulative. They are the result of consistent, long-term intake, not a single, perfectly timed dose. Your body doesn't save up the benefits from a nighttime clove of garlic and deploy them more effectively while you sleep. Rather, by regularly including garlic in your diet, you provide a steady supply of these helpful compounds, allowing them to exert their gentle, supportive influence over time. Think of it like tending a garden. A plant doesn't thrive because you water it at a specific, magical minute of the day. It thrives because you water it consistently, day after day. The same principle applies here. The most important factor is not the clock on the wall, it's the consistency on your plate. Focusing on a specific time can create unnecessary stress and rigidity around food. The goal should be to find easy, enjoyable ways to incorporate garlic into your daily life, whenever it works best for you. If you love garlic in your omelet, that's wonderful. If you prefer it in your dinner stew, that's just as effective. The key is to make it a regular habit, not a rigid ritual. While the timing of garlic consumption for maximizing its benefits is a myth, there is a very practical and important conversation to be had about eating it at night, especially in its raw form. This conversation isn't about effectiveness, it's about comfort and digestion. For some individuals, particularly those prone to acid reflux or heartburn, eating raw garlic right before lying down can cause significant discomfort. Here's the simple mechanism behind this. At the top of your stomach, there's a ring of muscle called the lower esophageal sphincter. Its job is to act like a one-way valve, letting food into your stomach but preventing stomach acid from splashing back up into your esophagus. Certain foods can cause this sphincter to relax temporarily, and garlic, especially when raw and potent, is one of them. When that valve relaxes and you're lying down, gravity is no longer on your side. This makes it easier for stomach acid to creep upwards, leading to that familiar burning sensation in your chest we call heartburn. This doesn't mean you must avoid garlic in the evening altogether. Far from it. Enjoying garlic as part of a cooked evening meal is perfectly fine for most people. Cooking mellows the compounds that can trigger indigestion, making it much gentler on the stomach. A little garlic sautéed with vegetables or simmered in a soup is unlikely to cause problems. The issue arises primarily from consuming a whole, raw clove of garlic as a sort of pill right before getting into bed. For those with a sensitive digestive system or a history of gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD, this practice could easily lead to a night of interrupted, uncomfortable sleep. And as we know, a good night's sleep is not a luxury. It is a cornerstone of good health, especially as we age. It's when our body repairs tissues, consolidates memories, and regulates hormones. Anything that consistently disrupts sleep, like heartburn, is working against our overall wellness goals. So, the most sensible advice is to listen to your body. If you enjoy garlic in your dinner and feel great, please continue. But if you've noticed indigestion after late-night meals with lots of raw garlic, or if you've been tempted to try the raw clove before bed trend, it might be wise to reconsider. Your comfort and your sleep are paramount. If you experience frequent heartburn, regardless of the cause, it's always a good idea to mention it to your healthcare provider. Now, let's broaden our perspective beyond heart health and digestion, because garlic's resume is truly impressive. It plays a significant role in supporting our immune system and helping to manage inflammation, two areas of immense importance for healthy aging. Our immune system is our personal, microscopic army, constantly on patrol to protect us from invaders. The sulfur compounds derived from allicin in garlic seem to provide support for our frontline defender cells, like macrophages and lymphocytes. You can think of it as giving your body's security team some extra tools and encouragement to do their jobs effectively. This doesn't mean that eating garlic will prevent you from ever getting a cold, but studies suggest that regular consumption may help reduce the frequency and severity of common illnesses. It's about building a more resilient and responsive immune system over the long term. If this deep dive into how your body works is helping you connect the dots, a quick tap on the subscribe button ensures you won't miss our next video. Parallel to this is garlic's role in inflammation. We now understand that chronic, low-grade inflammation is a common thread running through many age-related health conditions. This isn't the acute inflammation you see with a sprained ankle, the swelling and redness that signals healing. This is a persistent, smoldering inflammation inside the body. Research indicates that the compounds in garlic have anti-inflammatory properties. They appear to work by gently dialing down the pathways that produce inflammatory signals in the body. By helping to maintain a balanced inflammatory response, regular garlic intake can be a valuable part of a broader anti-inflammatory lifestyle, which also includes a balanced diet, regular movement, and stress management. There's one more modern area of research that's quite exciting: garlic's effect on our gut microbiome. Our gut is home to trillions of microorganisms that play a crucial role in everything from digestion to mood to immunity. We want to encourage the good bacteria to thrive, and one way to do that is by feeding them what they love. Foods that do this are called prebiotics. Garlic is a fantastic prebiotic, rich in a type of fiber called inulin. This fiber passes through the upper part of your digestive system undigested and arrives in the colon, where it becomes a feast for beneficial bacteria like bifidobacteria. A flourishing, diverse gut microbiome is increasingly being recognized as a cornerstone of overall health, and a little garlic can be a wonderful contribution to its well-being. So, how do we put all of this excellent information into practice in a safe and sustainable way? The goal is not to start eating massive quantities of garlic, but to incorporate a reasonable amount into your daily routine. For most people, aiming for 1 to 2 cloves of fresh garlic per day is a wonderful and achievable target. Remember to use the chop and wait method for at least 10 minutes to maximize the allicin. Let's talk about the different forms of garlic you'll find at the store. Fresh garlic is king when it comes to potency, and buying whole bulbs is often the most economical choice. Those pre-minced jars of garlic can be convenient, but they often have a lower allicin potential due to processing and the additives used to preserve them. Garlic powder can still offer some health benefits and is great to have on hand for seasoning, but it won't be as powerful as fresh. What about garlic supplements? This is where caution is essential. While supplements can provide a concentrated dose, they are not regulated in the same way as medications, and their potency can vary widely. More importantly, high doses of garlic, particularly in supplement form, can have a blood-thinning effect. This is a critical safety consideration for anyone taking anticoagulant medications like warfarin or even a daily low-dose aspirin. The combination could potentially increase the risk of bleeding. Therefore, It is absolutely essential that you speak with your doctor or pharmacist before you even consider starting a garlic supplement. This is not something to decide on your own. For most people, obtaining the benefits through whole food garlic in your meals is the safest and most enjoyable approach. Let's quickly recap the most practical takeaways. First, the magic of garlic comes from allicin, which is created when you crush or chop it. To get the most of it, let it rest for 10 minutes before cooking. Second, the idea that you must eat garlic at a specific time of day to get its benefits is a myth. Consistency is what truly matters, so enjoy it whenever it fits into your meals. Third, while eating cooked garlic in the evening is generally fine, consuming it raw right before bed may cause heartburn or indigestion for some. Always listen to your body. Finally, remember that garlic is a team player. It is a wonderful addition to a healthy lifestyle, but it is not a magic bullet. Its benefits are best realized as part of a broader pattern of eating a variety of vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, and whole grains, staying active, managing stress, and getting enough restorative sleep. These are the pillars of long-term health and vitality. I hope this conversation has brought you a sense of clarity and confidence. The world of health information can be noisy and confusing, but by returning to the simple science and focusing on practical, sustainable habits, you can take meaningful control of your well-being. You have the power to make small choices every day that, over time, add up to a profound and positive impact on your health. This journey is not about perfection. It's about persistence and self-compassion. I'd love to build on our conversation in the comments below. How do you enjoy using garlic in your own kitchen? Sharing your favorite simple recipe or preparation tip could be wonderfully helpful to others in our community. If you found this discussion calming and useful, please give the video a like and consider sharing it with a friend who might also appreciate clear, gimmick-free health guidance. Together, we can help everyone in our community feel more empowered on their wellness journey. Thank you so much for your time today, and be well.